And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you win in any marketplace. That's the goal of our show. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we've got Anthony Ornella going to be on the show today, wealth strategist. So we're going to talk about wealth building. We also have Cory Van Valin. He's our local magician, and he does a lot of cool parties and events and things of that nature as well. And we might talk with James D. Jerome, our show producer here on the Consumer Quarterback Show today. Great lineup for you. We're going to remind you about our event coming up. Ken Shamrock going to be in town on Wednesday, January 8th, over at Florida Firearms Academy right here in Tampa, Oldsmar area. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have Ken Shamrock. We got Antonio Tarver as well. So think about this opportunity, a VIP meet and greet. You got all-star lineup in terms of networking with a lot of our expert contributors, show partners as well, on Wednesday, January 8th, 7 to 10 p.m. over at Florida Firearms Academy right there in Tampa, kind of that Oldsmar area, close to the Oldsmar Flea Market. But Ken Shamrock, if you don't know who he is, a UFC Hall of Famer, WWF wrestling legend, and now he launched the bare knuckle fighting group called the Valor BK, as well as Tampa's own Antonio Tarver. He was a co-star in Rocky V, I believe it was Rocky V, one of the sequels there, and he's also a 5-time world boxing champion. Now, the best part is this all is going towards benefiting the wounded warriors, those folks that have served our country and our veterans. So wounded warriors are going to be the beneficiary. VIP meet and greet opportunity. Check out eventbrite.com or facebook.com. You can see both pages there. Just search up the names there on Eventbrite, and you'll be able to find it as well. And we'll see you there. It's going to be a great time. And we also have this segment being brought to you by Replenish IV Solutions. Restore, reinvigorate, and revive. And it's the science of nutritional balance. Fighting a little bit of cold right here. I got a birthday cold going on, but we've got vitamin IVs directly into your bloodstream. So your proverbial oil change, if you will, right? You get hooked up. These vitamins go right into. I had a Myers cocktail yesterday, and it's got B5 in there, vitamin C, vitamin B12, magnesium, calcium. Throw a little extra zinc in there as well. So it assists with numerous conditions to decrease post-athletic recovery time as well. With the Myers cocktail, they've got Revitalized. Weekend in Vegas is the name of one of their vitamin drips as well. So Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. They also tell me they've got stem cells coming, lots of cool things as well. Say hello to Steve and Lisa Gunnan over at Replenish IV Solutions. Now, they're located on Gandy Boulevard in South Tampa, and they also have a north location as well on Bears Avenue and Del Mabry. So check them out. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And our goal is to help you win as your consumer advocate. And we've got Anthony Ornella on the phones. And before we go to him, we've got Cory Van Valin in studio. I wanted to introduce Cory here. And Cory, welcome into the studio, man.
Oh, how's it going, Brandon? Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Good to see you. And I love the tie.
Yeah.
You always got that flavor going.
For the people that can't see it, I'm wearing a mirror tie. And what I love about it is I love when people come up to me and ask or say that it's a good-looking tie.
Yeah.
Because then I'll tell them it's because they're in it.
Yeah, because they're in it. Got the reflection going. All right, so let's go to the phones now. We got Anthony Ornella on the phone, wealth strategist here, and we're going to talk about some of the things happening. So, Anthony, welcome to the QB show, man.
Brandon, it's so good to be here, my friend. Thanks for having me on again. And I just want to take a minute and impress upon people to check out that Shamrock event. Not only is it a great opportunity to meet really a living legend in the sports world, but to give back to the veterans. You know, I'm a military spouse myself, and helping out the wounded warriors is near and dear to my heart. So really, folks, check that out if you got the time. It's going to be one great opportunity to have some fun and to give back.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, absolutely. So we've got right here, one of the stats that you gave us for our pre-show notes, we're talking about approximately 41% of Americans do not have any form of life insurance. That's a staggering statistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, that stat comes from an annual study that's conducted by statisticians and research analysts in the insurance world, really for the agents. But I think when you look at the breakdown of where they get the number, I think it's even more shocking. So the other side of that 59% of people that do have life insurance, it's any form. Now, in that includes group life insurance, which a lot of people feel comfortable. They have an employer provides life insurance for them, whether they pay for it or not, they still have it. But it's kind of like term insurance, and the term is as long as you're working for the employer. So, if you start working in your 20s and you stop working in your 60s, you're not going to get life insurance for any affordable price afterwards. So, that could be a shock to the system for some folks that still want that life insurance coverage as they move into retirement, as well as the age. So, and this is where I kind of want to tie in the message for today, is that 59% is approximately, again, all approximations, ages 25 and up.
Yeah.
Now, the reason they do that, students predominantly are younger than that, minors, obviously, and all those things. They don't necessarily have the traditional economic need for life insurance. So that's where that study is drawn from, those numbers. But I think when you look at those, that offers a lot of fun and creative holiday season gift ideas. Doesn't matter what you celebrate, there could be a lot of opportunities to have some fun with some financial assets for your family.
Okay, so that's a different line of thought, right? So the holiday season's here. So if you're looking to invest in gifts of whatever type, maybe invest in something like this then.
Yeah, absolutely. I think something that's radically overlooked is life insurance for children and for your grandparents out there, for your grandkids. That's kind of that. Talk about shock to the system. People go, "What?" Like the argument against is kids don't need life insurance,
right?
And yes, that's true. Their economic need for life insurance is not nearly as high as, say, their parents or their grandparents. It's just the truth of the matter. But most people don't fully understand all the different complexities that life insurance could offer a young kid, either down the line or more immediately in their young adulthood. It's permanent. It can be permanent. That means they're guaranteed to have life insurance coverage for the rest of their life. So you as the grandparent, you've not just provided for your grandkids, but you've provided for your great-grandkids and your great-great-grandkids. And we talk about a legacy and an inheritance to give, and it's cheap and it's fast. There's no medical exam when you're getting a child life insurance. It's very fast. They're typically the healthiest they're going to be. I mean, Brandon, you played sports, right?
Yes.
Obviously, you're a consumer quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you were in high school playing and you got severely hurt, life-threatening, injury. You turn out fine and everything, but years down the road, you get married and you come to find out that injury compromised your body in a way where you're no longer insurable. Well, too bad you don't get life insurance.
Right.
But if you've had it as a kid, you're guaranteed to have that coverage for life. I mean, some of these things are forward-thinking, but let's talk about the financial aspect of it, too. There's a cash value component to certain life insurances out there. That can be a college fund. That could be a future life fund. We could talk about disability insurance wrapped up there, long-term care, medical conditions. That's more for the older generation, but talk about something that's the gift that keeps on giving, a guaranteed growth vehicle that never loses, that always is performing, whether it's up or down or mediocrely. It's always going to gain something for your kid or your grandkid forever. And that is an asset. That is a gift that truly keeps on giving.
Yeah, I like that idea. We're talking with Anthony Ornella here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's a local wealth strategist here. We always talk about supporting the local economy here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And he's on LinkedIn.com/Anthony Ornella. You can find him right on LinkedIn there as well, and check out his background. But a couple of things that you mentioned. One of the facts that you can invest into something that never loses. I think that's a big one to hit on. If you could elaborate on that, and then also the idea of sometimes buying prepaid college. So you can do those types of things through these vehicles that you're mentioning here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The insurance companies can offer some of the best guarantees in the financial world. People don't like to hear guarantees, but as long as you're doing the right things as far as following SEC regulations, insurance companies that have been paying out, whether it be dividends or crediting systems for 100 plus years, they've had a systematic approach to safe investing for their corporate entity themselves. And that's why the SEC allows them to offer guaranteed products or no-loss products. Something like a whole life policy, you get paid out dividends that are coming from the company. The life insurance as a company is paying money into your life insurance policy. Now, there's a bunch of different complexities there, but when structured correctly, you get good quality growth of your investment that, if you're older, you can turn on for income, tax-free income, or if you're a young person looking to invest in a very just steady Eddie type of an asset, life insurance can be one of those things that continuously just produces dividends for you, or a crediting system. I'm not here to preach life insurance all day, maybe not yet,
yeah.
But it is a very intricate system. But the word guaranteed is thrown around a lot, and it's not just an annuity. I think annuities are good vehicles for some people, but life insurance can be a form of an annuity in and of itself. So guaranteed income for life, guaranteed growth of the asset, and it's all based off of these companies have been strategizing with the SEC to make sure that they can keep that word guarantee in the contract that you signed with the insurance company.
Yeah, and it's so important today that, a lot of the employers have done away with the pensions, back in the day, mid-century and 60s, 70s. There was more of the companies that had these employer-involved pension plans and a lot of matching programs as well. But a lot of that's gone away today, and it's more along the lines of how much can we cut from a business perspective. Actually, Bezos made the news cutting some of his part-time workers now, some of the benefits that they were receiving, and there were calculations done on how long it would take him to recoup that. So the world's richest man cutting some of the the benefits to the folks that are working for his company, part-time folks as well. But more and more companies are cutting out those types of things. So it's more important now than ever for folks, especially self-employed. You don't have the option to even have a matching program. You have to either invest in real estate. That's one of the ideas I love investing in real estate, is that when you're making that monthly mortgage payment, you're investing, you're paying down a stock or the asset, and you're building up equity, you're paying down the debt. And very similar, with some of these different vehicles that you're mentioning, the key is just make some type of an effort. Take 10 to 15% of your income, put it away. You never see it again until you need it, right? Retirement.
Yeah. And that's, there's a term used in certain circles, the world-class saver. That means they save north of 20% of their income in something. But, to your point, Brandon, I think it's important you can't just save. Stockpiling money is just no longer an efficient way to survive in the long haul. I think interest rates climb too high too quickly. I think the global economy now, it's not just the U.S. stock market. I think that things that happen in China, things that happen in Europe, things that happen with the relations between those countries dramatically affect everybody's dollar here in the U.S. So, finding something that, I've said it before on the show, the risk is in the investor, not the investment. So finding something you're comfortable with, finding something you're interested in, find something that you have people that you can lean on for information. You're working with the Platinum MVP team to truly understand real estate. You're working with Anthony Ornella to truly understand, different financial assets to really build your family's wealth.
That's right.
And can I just jump back? You mentioned pensions too, and I can't stress this enough. People that do still have a pension, I think they need to be so wary. Because if you're actively working and you're providing money into the pension in hopes that pension is going to pay you when you retire, there's no grandfather rules right now. You could be 10 years away from retirement, have paid into the pension for 20 years, and then they cut it because it's just not feasible for the company or the organization or the institution, government or private sector. And then it's gone because they need to pay so many more people. You've paid into something, and now your quote-unquote plans for retirement are down to zero.
That's right.
So I always have control or some kind of say on the outcome of your dollars. I'm not a control freak, but when it comes to your future, I think it's important to maintain the end control of your dollar.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, stay with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from our expert contributors. We got Cory Van Valin in the house as well. Van Valin Magic here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to have some cool tips from our expert contributors throughout the show. We're going to help you win in any marketplace. That's our goal. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore.
To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to...
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, you know, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, you know, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. We're helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. We're helping our buyers and investors make informed, intelligent offers on real estate properties in a market that could be potentially overinflated in some areas. A lot of properties we're seeing overpriced and not price comparable to the recent sales in the neighborhood. So we're going to help protect you when you're making your biggest investment. And I'm a certified negotiation expert realtor here in Tampa Bay. My wife and I own and operate the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, the #1 real estate company in the world. This segment is brought to you by Taps Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, located at the International Plaza on Bay Street. I love going to lunch over at Taps. They've got some great food, very friendly staff, very cool ambiance. It's an excellent feel over there. They've also got a charming outdoor area as well, outdoor patio where your dogs are welcome, so you can bring your furry friends as well. A local gastropub and burger bar, Taps Restaurant, Bar, and Lounge at the International Plaza. Excellent food. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Got a couple of hot properties here. 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa. This is a home that is just recently reduced. We dropped it another $15,000. Owner is super motivated, and we're offering a buyer agent bonus on this one as well. 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa. This is a waterfront beauty on a freshwater canal with a boat dock that leads out to the bay. And the home is in the desirable gated community of Bayport. Huge lanai, covered lanai, screened lanai, 2-story home, close proximity to the airport, about 5 to 7 minutes from the airport as well. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, fully updated 2nd-story master, and gorgeous flooring throughout. 5822 Schooner Way in Tampa. We also have 861 Mandalay Avenue on Clearwater Beach. This is a gorgeous beach home. This is an opportunity to own a piece of paradise here. 200 steps from the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of North Clearwater Beach. 2-bedroom, 2-bath property. You've got a 3rd bedroom in the back as well. We cannot count it due to MLS rules, but 861 Mandalay Avenue just reduced as well, down to $694,000. Check out all of our real estate properties at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, we got Cory Van Valin in the house. Cory 2V Magic in the house. Welcome back, sir.
Always good to be here, Brandon. And man, I got to tell you, I've had some of the best few months in my industry.
Nice.
This season, and I've learned a lot.
Very cool.
And I'm excited to share some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Got some awesome stories for you. And you know what's good about being one of the only full-time magicians out in this area is that it makes me the best magician in this area.
That's awesome, man.
And you know, I've been learning a lot just by hanging around other greats and just through certain experiences. I think in previous shows I've talked about how I've always wanted to gather an epic team.
Yeah.
And as of lately, I found it.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you got the people that are synergizing and they're on point, where my new videographer guy, I don't have to explain things. I mean, he's telling me things that I've always wanted to do. And, you know, having that collaboration has just been outstanding.
Like a good producer does. You know, they're saying, hey, what about this angle? Try this. Maybe mention that.
Yeah. It's almost like the idea is like, you know, as I'm specializing in my magic, I want to find that someone that specializes in their craft.
Yes.
And as we both do what we do best, we create some incredible things.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the idea also for business owners out there, folks looking to do holiday parties, Christmas parties, business networking events, parties, and you've come to a lot of our events as well, and just kind of lighten up the crowd, you know, getting everybody involved, having some fun, doing some card tricks, all types of different.
And you want to make sure you get a good one.
Yeah.
I've heard some stories where people are like, we got a magician. He was terrible, you know? And I'll tell you, that actually is a bit of my competition. It's not the guy that's better than me or more charming than me. It's the guy that's making people have a bad taste for magic. So that's who I'm always trying to compete against.
Yeah.
Making people re-like magic and re-love magic. You know, something really interesting happened just like 2 days ago. I was booking out another magician for a date that I couldn't do.
Yeah.
And I ended up charging a rate that I've never been able to get myself.
Nice.
And and it was for someone else though.
Yeah.
The thing that I learned about it is when you have a representative,
yes,
there's a lot of negotiating power.
Oh yeah.
I was able to say to him, hey, his rate is normally 500,
Yeah.
but I can maybe talk him down to 300, unless you just want to book him right now for 500.
Yeah.
And they're ready to buy. They're just getting him for 500.
Yeah.
And it's that idea of having someone that can negotiate on your behalf. I think that's something gorgeous that I want to start implementing myself.
Oh, big time. Yeah. Having someone book for you, have someone make calls, you know, instead of Brandon, you know, it's Mr. Rhymes, it's Mr. Van Valin. You know, those are the things, those are little subtle things that mean a lot.
Yeah, and it's easier for someone else to say like, oh, I could talk him down a little bit versus me saying I could talk myself down. No, it's kind of harder to have that little wager. Some of the complications in my industry, and I'm sure a lot of people do too, is I get business from all sorts of channels, whether it's text messages, emails, Facebook, phone calls, Instagram, and it was starting to get really disorganized. So I guess this next step for 2020 is funneling everything through one channel.
Yeah.
Every time I get a gig from a phone call or an email, I'm I'm going to send them straight to the website. It's going to have a little form with all the details.
Yeah.
And I think the best way of gauging a price is to gather as much data from them as you can.
Absolutely.
You know, just the other day, someone was saying, we were going to go for the casino kind of night.
Yep.
But they canceled, and I know how much those things cost.
Yeah.
So knowing that, I was able to go with a lot more confidence raising my rate.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a lot of fun. And, you got different card tricks. You got the flaming wallet. I mean, there's a lot of cool things you can do.
It's more than just magic where, I know a guy that, he's incredible at sleight of hand.
Yeah.
But magic's more than just that. I think it's in from that first second, that first initiation, getting the comedy, getting people laughing, getting them smiling.
Yeah.
It's not, look what I can do, but look what we can do. Look at how we can feel.
That's right.
And, you've heard some of my favorite lines when I approach people. I'll go up to them and say, I don't mean to interrupt you guys, but they paid me to interrupt you guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Get them, right off to a good start. I hear some music. Is this cutting off to the commercial?
Coming into the break, yeah.
All
so
right.
when we come back, more from Cory and Valin here in studio. We're going to have some awesome magic tricks as well on air. So if you're watching our TV show version, you'll see that. Stay with us when we come back. Also, our feel-good story of the day. Man shows up at apartment complex in a moving truck, hands out $12,000 worth of toys. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
The 62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And if you're watching our TV show version, you can find us on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Sony TV, and 85 other smart television outlets. And we're also broadcast live here, of course, 4 o'clock drive time on AM 860 The Answer. And our weekend show is on FM 102.5 The Bone on the weekends on Sunday mornings, 7 a.m. on The Bone. And I want to remind you about our event coming up. This is benefiting the Wounded Warriors. We got tickets available now on Eventbrite and Facebook. You can find the tickets there as well for Wednesday, January 8th. That's going to be in Tampa at Florida Firearms Academy. It's kind of that Oldsmar area right there close to the Pinellas and Hillsborough County line. Ken Shamrock coming into town, UFC Hall of Famer, WWF legend. Also, Tampa's own Antonio Tarver. He's a 5-time world boxing champion. So we got VIP meet and greet opportunities, and we're going to have DJ, food, entertainment, all types of cool stuff happening there for benefiting the Wounded Warriors. And it's all about our veterans that night. So we want to help our veterans out here in Tampa Bay. So save the date, Wednesday, January 8th, and we'd love to see you there. And this segment is brought to you by Infinity Medical Institute. Infinity Medical Institute, over 10 years in business, and they've successfully treated over 40,000 patients, and they are the leading experts in bio-natural hormone replacement therapy, serving the greater Tampa, Florida area. They offer pellet hormone therapy, which is an option for those looking for hormone replacement, and they can help you with weight loss, low T therapy, cosmetics plans such as Botox, improved sexual wellness, and increased energy at Infinity Medical Institute. Check them out. They're over on West Shore Boulevard in Tampa. Online at infinitymedicalinstitute.com. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And this segment, we got a couple of hot listings here. I want to let you know about a $2 million listing I've got at 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. This is a gorgeous home. It's basically a palace here in Tampa Bay, waterfront mansion. Bring your boat, enjoy the outdoors here, and it's ultra high security as well for that CEO, that VIP level home. And it's got 2 guarded gates before you even get onto the street of Harbor Point. 4348 Harbor Point Drive, Port Richey, an amazing property that we have listed here, just under $2 million here in Tampa Bay. Also, 216 North Spring Boulevard in Tarpon Springs. Another awesome opportunity to live close to the water in Tarpon Springs. The walkability, the beautiful property here. Check out the professional photography compliments of Fabre Frameworks. 216 North Spring Boulevard in Tarpon Springs, 2-story home, lots of upgrades throughout, beautiful property, room in the backyard for a pool. Check out all of our real estate properties at PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
Cory Van Valen's in the house. Cory2V.com. So yeah, Cory, we talk a lot about business. A lot of business owners listening to the show. A lot of real estate, mortgage related types folks listening. All industries of all types. I meet people out in the community all the time, and hey, I like your show. I love your show. I listen to it, and so I think it's big time to mention as well. So we got Cory in the house. He's a local magician, doing lots of stuff out in Vegas now, going across the world. But great opportunity for people to involve you with birthday parties, holiday parties, all types of events.
It really raises the energy. And, when I see the smiles on people's faces, and I also try to bring someone to take awesome photos or videos. And that's something we like to give back to them. When you capture these people's faces enjoying themselves with their friends and families or loved ones.
Yeah.
I've had some stories where I've done an event, and 2 days later the father died.
Oh, wow.
But they were so grateful to have an experience that he was smiling, laughing. They get to all be there together with him.
Yeah.
It's just, you never know. And when people are in a great state, nothing beats that.
Yeah.
Laughter. I think we all need more laughter in our lives.
Absolutely.
Laughter and amazement. And there's this idea that what I do is I try to re-spark the idea of magic. Where kids, they already believe in magic. I think adults, we need to be reminded that magic's all around us. And that real good feeling, And that's what I do.
I feel like a good idea also is I think you have a book in you, man. Like you could write a book, even if it's something like as I mentioned on the show before. If we had some of our real estate agents have a little bit of the intro, like you mentioned the intro before, or some of that little bit of comedy that adds so much to it.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that I feel knowledgeable about while being a magician is the art of approaching people.
Yeah.
You know, I always keep saying on the show, you never know what a hello holds.
Exactly.
I was just in an Uber yesterday, and well, how great of Uber, you know, you get to drive around and you meet such a diverse amount of people.
Yeah.
Versus if you worked at like a restaurant that only held, you know, elders at this time, you're only seeing one segment of the human people.
Yeah.
You know, so as a magician, I get to meet all different kinds of people, and I learn from each interaction.
Absolutely.
And I think if more people were able to interact with all different kinds of people, they'd be surprised of what they'd learn as well.
Especially in sales, when you look at the sales process, it's a competitive nature. Especially in real estate, you mentioned you have limited competition, which is interesting to me because in real estate, we've got 30,000 competitors. You really have to differentiate. And that's what we've done with our consumer quarterback show, featuring our real estate listings, you know, in ways that other real estate companies don't, bringing on all types of, you know, local and national celebrities. We've had, you know, for example, Warwick Dunn. We just did a TV show with him, Tampa mayor, St. Pete mayor, Clearwater mayor, all types of cool people. Grant Cardone's been on the show, Tom Ferry, Tom Hopkins, FBI, hostage negotiators. But just, you know, the idea is when you have something different and then you have a different approach, you know, especially with the idea of bringing in some comedic style to lighten it up, to lighten up the mood.
And I think with when people are hiring me, they're not hiring a magician, they're hiring Cory Van Valin.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few times where I try to offer a replacement. They're like, no, sorry, if you can't make it, we'll just have to get you next year. We don't want anyone else.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
And it's when you make people feel good, they got to like you before they like your magic, you know, and that's, you know, replace magic with any industry. If it's real estate, they got to like you and they're going to love your real estate, you know.
That's true.
And getting that likability factors up.
Likability. We're talking with Cory Van Valin here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. Check him out online, Cory2V.com, Cory, Cory, 2V.com. All right, let's just give me some good stuff here, man.
So I'll tell you briefly. People ask me how I learn new magic.
Yeah.
And it started off with YouTube, then it got trial and error. Now the way I learn new stuff is just hanging around other greats.
Okay.
And this my buddy showed me this, and I'm super excited about it.
All right.
So just grab out a card, Brandon.
Okay.
Yep. Doesn't really matter. Show the people. I guess show the people at home, whatever it might be.
Okay.
To
do that, I have to go this way.
It all works.
All right.
I'm gonna take your card.
Okay.
And Brandon, do you know any magic words?
Magic words.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is that
abracadabra?
Oh, that's 2 words, Brandon.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding. Watch. Check this out. Abra.
Wow.
Cadabra. 1 card jumps out of the deck.
Wow.
Now, I actually know my own little magic word, and I like to call it. Give me 1 second to square this up. I like to call it rise. So check this out. Brand new trick.
Very
1,
cool.
2, 3. Rise.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't seen that one before. That's awesome.
Is that your card?
That's so
hearts?
cool.
But what's crazy is you see that sheet of paper that's been sitting in front of you this entire time.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yeah, that one right there. Underneath there should be a good distraction. Oh, that would have been amazing though. One of these days.
Yeah, our producer's looking through. He's like, what?
Next show, I'll work on that.
Next one, yeah, work on that one. I like that one.
So I do want to bring up two more things I learned from this great magician. He's the kind of guy that shows up at a nice tux. He gets his nails did right before a nice high-end gig. Make sure every hair follicle's on point. You know,
Yeah.
He goes through this process to make sure even his socks. In case he has to bend over, he wants his socks to be on point.
Sock game's got to be tight.
You got sock games on point. He walks into the gig with a nice, big, expensive-looking briefcase.
Yeah.
Has nothing in it.
Nothing in it.
But
no.
everyone's like, what's in the briefcase? Is it $1 million? Is it $2 million? It
Yeah.
gives him that image, and it's all these small things that could almost seem insignificant that I can feel makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
You know, it's
I like that. Yeah, it's all about presentation.
Yeah, yep. You know, you think when you go to a restaurant and, you know, you could be served amazing food, but if you sit at the table and there's a little bit of schmuck on the table there, that food now doesn't taste as good.
Yeah.
But if everything's presented beautifully, that food's going to taste just as beautiful.
White tablecloth, nice and clean. They come and scrape up the crumbs between each serving.
Yeah.
Each course of the meal.
Yeah, and it's I always like to stand out. You know, I have a red jacket that I wear, mirror tie, fire wallet, and it's this thing that when I walk around, everyone sees me.
Yeah,
and by the time peacocking it. Yep. And by the time I go up to them, they already feel like they know me because they've already seen me. It's not like some strange face out of nowhere popping up,
right,
asking them to see something. They almost feel like they get to know me, and you know, peacocking is definitely a thing that I apply.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's one of your favorite crowds to work with or demographic? You mentioned earlier like seniors and, you know, middle age. What's your favorite?
So there's a bit that I like specific from each one, but I gotta say I enjoy the nightlife scene because people are not expecting it at all. They're having their own day, and you might find someone that's down on their day. You can see someone, you can see their energy. You approach them, you just give them love, give them energy, and you see by the end of it, they're all excited. They're sharing with their friends. But I love the nightlife scene.
Yeah.
So if I can travel around different nightlife cities or across the country, that's something I'd love to do. That's
pretty cool. Now, who in your opinion is the best magician ever? Like, I know there's different categories of best. You know, most surprising. I know escape artist and things of that nature. Give me your top.
So I have my favorite. He's got a show on Netflix. I guess I'll shout out. His name's Justin Willman. The reason why he's my favorite is I resonate with his comedy. His style about it. He just seems so casual.
Yeah.
Seems so nonchalant about it, and it's very strong stuff.
That's cool.
But most people would always think of like David Blaine, David Copperfield, Chris Angel.
Yep.
But they were maybe a generation back. Copperfield's still killing it.
The most famous, they just been around so long. It's like it's similar to investors. Warren Buffett is the name that comes. There's more successful investors, Ray Dalio, Jack Vogel, some of those people that you wouldn't have heard of unless you listen to Tony Robbins books like I do.
Yeah.
But it's like celebrity comes with that, and then it rolls. It's
it's like a nice little
snowballs.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I'll tell you too, some plans that I have coming up is, you know how I come on the show and I talk about my next show coming up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do things a little different. I'm planning on having multiple dates in multiple cities, just so if someone can't make that one show, well, they'll have options. They can look at the next show. And so I want to have a little tour, like a local tour first, take it statewide and then hopefully nationwide.
That's pretty cool.
And then have a little bit of merchandise. My own custom decks of cards, some T-shirts, some fun things like that.
Nice.
And the last thing I think would be some courses.
Yeah.
I really want to get to the point where I'm teaching, even just the fundamentals.
Yep.
Because what magic has shown me in my life, it has been phenomenal. It's been breathtaking, the things I've got to see because of magic. And if I can give that gift to someone to start that journey, it'd be my pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a group that I'm going to be joining next year. I'm looking into it. It's kind of like a mastermind group. They take like 15 or 20 people. They bring them in. We write a book together. Each gets their own individual book. So that might be an idea for you.
Yeah, I think that.
Right here in Tampa. But it's like becoming an author as well. So that kind of leads into that course that you mentioned.
And especially when it's a mastermind, you're around other like-minded people that have invested into it. Everyone's going to be, geared and ready for it.
Yeah.
And there's something beautiful when the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. When you're around other great minds,
big time.
The synergy that happens.
The mastermind principle.
Yeah, as well as all thatness.
The first mastermind was the Nazareth and his 12 disciples.
Yep.
So it kind of proves the point. All right, stay with us, Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from Cory 2V, Cory2V.com. Cory Van Valin here in studio. You got some more stuff you can show us?
Yeah, and I got some stories that'll make you laugh.
Okay, a couple good stories, and we got maybe a couple more tricks you can show us. All right, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, as well as our feel-good story of the day. You got a man that's showing up to a complex with a moving truck, and he hands out over $12,000 worth of toys coming up here in our feel-good story of the day. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Ian Beckle.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because We Beam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember it.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and changed them.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back their right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
You're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty, helping you win in any marketplace, helping our buyers, sellers, and investors win in their real estate deals. And we want to help you as well. Reach out to our hotline, 813-670-7372, 813-670-7372. Call or text our off-air hotline number, and we're going to put you in touch with whoever of our expert contributors you want to be in touch with. We got 80 different categories, over 50 show partners that can help you with all different types of buying decisions. We've got attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, and real estate, solar technology, all types of awesome companies here involved with the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got a property here, 1100 South Myrtle Avenue in Clearwater. This is a great opportunity for a commercial investment, looking to move your business, looking to buy and invest in your business rather than renting a space. 1100 South Myrtle Avenue. And if you look at the beautiful photography, again, compliments of Fabre Frameworks, check out the proximity to Clearwater Beach and downtown Clearwater, right here on Myrtle Avenue, Clearwater. It's a beautiful property, 1100 South Myrtle. It's over 225 feet deep, and I believe it's about 175 wide. Large parcel of land listed at $295,000. Great buying opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com for all of our real estate properties. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. And every day, we're going to tell you something positive here in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so awesome story here. A man donated $12,000 worth of toys to kids in need around a neighborhood in Virginia and for Christmas. And it says Sarah Lewis Weeks, a property manager at Harris Gardens Apartments, said last week a man came into her office asking if he could drop off hundreds of toys for kids in the community. Adam Armstrong showed up at the apartment complex's basketball court on Saturday afternoon with a 12-foot box truck filled with thousands of gifts. Quote, I just decided I was going to rent a big box truck and went out and got over 1,300 toys, Armstrong told WHSV. And we were just riding around to those less fortunate and passing them out. Armstrong said he got an idea a few weeks ago. He wanted to share some Christmas spirit. And quote, I mean to watch the kids, the expressions on their face. I mean, it's just kind of priceless, Armstrong said. So pretty cool story, man. I love those feel-good stories in our show. part of the the theme of our show, giving back and being that consumer advocate. So we've got Cory Van Valin here in studio as well. He's going to do some magic for us here coming up in just one moment. This segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Shows. Brothers Easy Moving, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, they are a first-class organization. They did a great job with my family's move. We moved over to our lake house about 9 months ago, and they did a great job. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, Cory Van Valin in the house. He's online at Cory2V.com. Give us some good stuff, man.
Yeah, so I got a great story. You talk about giving back, and I've been doing this little bit lately, and it's been hilarious. Where once I get this crowd going, I'll look at someone right in front of me, pull my wallet out, and say, "Hey, I want to give this back to you."
Yeah.
Now that guy knows it's not his wallet, but everyone else does not, and they freak out. They have a great time. So I was at this the Chris Godwin Foundation over at Eddie V's beautiful charity event. Mike Evans was there.
Yeah.
And I did that joke to him.
Yeah.
And everyone's freaking out, but I guess some people didn't catch the joke part of it, and there was a rumor at the event that I pickpocketed Mike Evans' wallet.
That's so funny.
The valet guy's coming up to me, he's like, "I heard that you took his wallet." I didn't say no.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those fun things, I like to have fun with my people.
Now, is that the flaming wallet too?
Yeah, it is. So
oh, wow, okay.
That's usually the punchline after it all.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with people, and it's, if you're having an event, it's great when you get to freestyle and kind of, it's not a cookie cutter performance.
Yeah,
It's really live in the moment. And that all being said, let's do a quick little trick here. I think it's gonna be great. Brandon, just grab out one more card for us. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Show them the card. I'm not gonna look at the monitor that's right above my head.
Okay.
Although I totally did try. Brandon, stick it back somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
And then all you have to do is name any number between 25 and 27.
12.
25 and 27.
Oh, 26.
That'll work.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I'm going to cut down 26 cards in one hand. One card jumps out of the deck.
Wow.
I catch it.
Yeah.
Brandon, is that your card?
That is the card.
Oh, crap. That wasn't even the trick. Hey, yeah, so it's a lot
7 of diamonds.
7 of diamonds, yeah. Check your back pocket.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do the whole 9.
Come on now.
But I always love giving people that split second of emotion, because when I get a crowd really geared in and I say check your back pocket and they believe it for a split second, even though I tell them I'm joking, that split second it was real, and that's all I kind of go for sometimes.
Yeah. You're like, no way.
Yeah. That's why I do a lot of things where I'll act like I mess up, but it's all part of the routine. And I think I've learned that what people really enjoy the most is surprise.
Okay.
If you say you're going to do something amazing and then you do something amazing, like, all right, that was cool.
Yeah.
But I expected that.
Yeah.
When you throw curveballs at, with movies, we love that about movies. They make us on this path that, something's going to happen, but then they throw us off, and it's the element of surprise. If you could throw that into any industry you do, I think that's something pretty gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's why we go to sports events.
Yeah.
To be in the arena, to be in the stadium when the two teams are battling it out and it goes to overtime, and then they score on the first drive, and then the other team matches the score, and then it goes into double overtime. That's the emotion and the human element, right?
Yeah, I almost feel like they perform better when that pressure's on like that. That's when you can catch that Hail Mary a little bit easier when it's all riding on that.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's awesome. Give us something that you would say to let's say, for example, maybe a young realtor that's getting their start. What's a tip that they could use to maybe break the ice with a new client?
Well, I mentioned earlier, I met a realtor yesterday, and he was an Uber driver, and he said the only reason he does Uber is to hand out his card.
Ah, okay.
And it's just put yourself in places where it's a different crowd every single time. Like, I love St. Pete.
Yeah.
St. Pete draws a crowd from all different directions. Where I live in Oldsmar, ask any person at a bar in Oldsmar, where are you from? They're from 3 blocks that way, a mile this way. It's a very closed circuit, but I like putting myself in places where you meet a variety of people.
Sure.
But to break the ice, the humor is always going to be huge.
Yes.
Compliments are always great. Any form of giving, and not just physically giving, but any form of like service, or let me get the door for you, like anything like that can break the ice.
Yeah.
And then obviously on my website for $9.99, these mirror ties. No, totally kidding.
$9.99. That's a good deal.
Right? That's a great deal.
Yeah.
But wearing something that makes people compliment you.
Yeah.
This is worth every penny, because the amount of people that have came up to me and said hello, and I've been able to turn it into magic.
That's cool.
Having someone come up to you is going to be great.
Yeah. You know, the Uber driver example, I just think, you know, if I'm going to choose a realtor, it's going to be somebody that's doing full-time real estate.
Yeah.
You know? But I get it. You know, they're looking for numbers at bat. You know, the more people I can meet, maybe they hit it off. They're from the same hometown, or who knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. You know, it shows you the competition in real estate too.
Yeah.
And people trying to get their start. You know, they're just trying to get their start, and you know that's what they're doing. They're making some money from Uber, and they're doing that.
And that's where, you know, as you can imagine, like where your clients, you know, they don't want just a realtor from you. They want Brandon Rhymes as a realtor. They want you specific because they love and respect you, and just having great human relations with as many people as possible. I even think with social media nowadays, there's a lot of ways to engage with people where when you see their posts, you comment, it's like, oh, this person is engaging back and forth with me. You know,
that's
and
right.
It's staying in touch with their people. Social media is a huge thing too. You know,
big time. Cory2v.com. Check him out online. Cory2v.com. Longtime friend of the program. Thanks for coming in today, man. Good stuff.
Thanks for having me on, as always.
Absolutely. Thanks to all of our team out there. Remember, Anthony Ornella as well was in the first segment, Wealth Strategist. Reach out to him on LinkedIn as well, Anthony Ornella as well, and Cory2v.com. And thanks to all of our listeners, our producers out there, our team behind the scenes putting the show together. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute, and hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.